Dudes, what's up? So, doing a little work on the side-by-side. Going to be mounting some lights on this bad boy. I already have the light kit, the wiring harness, and the switches. But, so, back, see if I can't get the angle here. So right here, I'm going to put some lights up on this top piece on the roof. I'm going to do two little spotlights, one right here in the corner, one right there in the corner, and then I get this light bar right across here. So I'm gonna go ahead and start working on that. Not really gonna be able to film me as I do it, but I'm gonna try to give you updates as I go along. But anyways, stay tuned. Hope you like this. So as you can see, I have them drilled and I have them put in, mounted. So now I have to run the wiring when I get it done. Still have the front to do. I'm basically going to mirror the exact same thing in the front, just down by the windshield. So I'll let you know when I get it all done and wired. Alright dudes, it's been a couple of weeks, but I got all the lights mounted on the side-by-side. So now that I have them mounted, I'm going to work on getting them wired up. I'm not going to do that tonight, but I'm going to flip you around, let you take a look. Also going to show you one of the other little upgrades that I did as well, but at least you'll get a nice idea of what I'm doing to this thing. So I'll flip you around, let you take a look. We'll start at the back. So there we go at the back. Got the two little spotlights and then the big light bar that's going to go there. Wiring is going to come up and follow the roll cage down, and then my battery is down below the seats here in the back. And we'll step around to the front again, kind of mimicked it, mounted the pod lights on the side, light bar in the middle. I'm gonna run the wiring down, and then I'm thinking there's a spot here that I can put the switches, but I don't think I'm gonna put them here. I think I'm gonna put them right down here in between the seats where I can just easily push them. But there's a couple spots right here that I could easily mount those three switches. So I'll just have to kind of take a look at it and figure out where exactly I want to put the switches. But it should work out pretty good either way, wherever I decide to put them. But I'm going to do that. I'll have that all wired. It's going to have the switches so I can turn on the lights front and back, and at least the sides. We'll see how I kind of want to do it. I might just do the backs on two different switches, and then the front will all be on a single switch. But we'll see kind of what I'm thinking by the time I get done wiring. I don't really like doing it, but gonna give it a try anyways. The other upgrade I did is I put on bolt-on mirrors on this that I got on Amazon. They had really good reviews. I'm impressed with them, and they look pretty well factory. So I'll flip you around and take a look at that. So they just bolt right onto the roll bar. My favorite feature on this is if you're driving down and you hit something, it slaps in like that, pops right back out to where it needs to be. But yeah, I'm going to keep working on this, get it wired up, and then when I get it all done, said and done, I'll record it and let you guys take a look and see what you think. But I think it looks pretty sharp right now. Might be a little overkill on the lighting, but I'd rather be able to see than not at all. So anyways, I hope you guys are enjoying this. Keep watching for the finished product. Dudes, what's up? Still working on the side-by-side. I have everything's wired. All the lights are wired. I gotta figure out, I just tested them. So these two back spotlights, I want them to turn on when I turn on the rear rear light bar, but somewhere I got a bad connection, which isn't that big a deal. I'll easily be able to fix it here, probably tomorrow because it's kind of late tonight. But anyways, I wanted to show you I got it. I ran all the wire up. I'm gonna clean it up a little bit because that looks janky, as you can tell, but I'm gonna clean it up. I have different connectors coming. I'm only using those yellow ones for the time being, just for testing purposes, to make sure everything's getting power, which it is, except for these two lights. So somewhere on these back two lights I messed up. But then I ran all the wiring, kept it neat to the frame. All my relays and switches are down here. Everything else, I ran it out the back of the battery onto the frame. Came up, everything's tucked in, nice and neat. Minus this guy, I'm gonna have to zip tie him up out of the way. But he'll go there. All the wires are, for the most part, pretty clean. But I'm gonna flip you around. I'll let you take a look at these as I turn them on. I still gotta figure out where I'm gonna mount the rocker switch. So I'll figure that out in a minute, but I'll flip you around and then I'll show you the switches and then I'll show you which lights work. So this is my rocker panel. Like I said, I think I'm gonna try to mount it right here. I think I have room. I can cut out a little piece right here and it's close to the battery box to get it to the thing. But anyways, so my LED bar, flip that on. My front bar's on. If I go with my LED pod lights, those go on either side of my light bar. Of course, I can run the light bar at the same time, uber bright. And then if I flip it on my rear lights, this is where I said I think I have an issue, because I should be able to kind of chain these together, but the rear light's on. So I'm gonna do a little troubleshooting and see if I can't figure this out. But yeah, these lights are bright. I'm excited. So now the side-by-side's gonna have plenty of light for when we're out doing stuff with it around the house, or you know, if we take it up to the woods or take it camping or whatever. So anyways, I'm gonna troubleshoot this, and then the next clip you see, hopefully I'll be able to show you all these lights working the way they're supposed to. So I think I figured out where I'm having an issue, but I should be able to figure this out in a second and be able to do this. But anyways, I got these splicers that allow you to do a three-way splice or two-way spliced, wire two lights on the same line, and I just unplugged it, but I don't think they actually went all the way into the cord. I don't think they cut all the way through the sheathing on the wire. So I think if I take those off, I can redo it, and then I'll make contact with these and then I'll run it. But it's kind of late tonight, so I'm not gonna deal with that. But I think that's the problem with these backlights. So tomorrow I'm gonna work on that and we'll see. I hope you guys are liking this. Wiring is not my favorite thing in the world, but I actually had kind of fun doing this. But anyways, keep watching. You'll see the final product here, hopefully the next video. Dudes, what's up? So, still been messing with it. Finally got the wiring. It's all done. All the lights work. It's great. I just gotta, now I just gotta mount the actual switches where I want them inside the dang thing. But as of right now, the lights are all working and they work when they're supposed to. So, pretty sweet here. Again, I have my rocker switch. If I hit the light bar, it brings me up here to the front. If I hit my LED pods lights, it's my two front pod lights. And then for when I really need to pay attention to what I'm doing in the back, I can hit this rear light. And this took me forever to figure out, but I was able to figure it out. I don't know if you can see that. Oh yeah, look. Now all of them come on the back. Super bright behind the thing, which is what I was looking for. And so basically what I had to do was I had to splice the two pod lights together onto one wire connector. So each connector here, so it's got two leads. It's got one for an LED light bar and one for pod light, or vice versa. Two pod lights or just a light bar. But I was able to isolate the lead that I needed. So the one lead up top here goes to the light bar. This lead here goes to a pod light. Well, I'd only be able to run one pod light off of this other lead with the light bar. So what I ended up doing was I took the 2 light pods, and I ran just a single piece of this red and black wire here, cut about 6 foot of it, maybe a hair more, and I made a connector. I'll bring you up here so you can see. So, oh goodness, this little connector, right, get freaking, you're gonna have to flip. Hold on. Brought it to that little connector there, and then I ran it over and across. It's all on the back side of the bar, so you can't see it. But then over here, you can kind of see it. See that little yellow thing right there? That little yellow thing is a 3-way splice, or 2-way splice. 2-way splice. So you can take that, clip it on there. It's supposed to strip the wire for you automatically and gets it right down to the actual wire. And then you take one of these little easy clamps that clips on in the end, and then you can run a wire off of that to wherever. Well, in this case, I just ran the LED lights to the clip and then clipped that onto the splice on the positive negative on the wire, and away she went. I use these ones. These are from Nightlight. It's the same company that made the lights and the wiring harness that I put on my side-by-side. The one thing I will say about this splice kit from Nightlight is you get what you pay for. So it's cheap, it works, but I had to score the wire first and then put the splice on top of it to help get a better connection to the little lead inside of the splicer. Did that, turned the lights on. Of course, one of the pod lights didn't come on. I had a light bar, and one of the pod lights came on, but this other pod light wouldn't come on. So I traced it back, realized it was a connection issue. So I redid the connectors on the pod light, going from the pod light to the splice, and voila, now it works. So I think what I'm gonna end up doing with this, with my switch panel here, is I think I'm gonna mount it. I like this too. It's backlit, so at night it's easy to see. Not a huge deal, but still it works pretty good. But sorry, I think I'm gonna end up mounting it right here. My thought is I can put it right there. It'll be nice and clean. I can run the lead that goes back to the battery. It'll be a pretty easy direct back to the battery here. But anyways, I think it's pretty sweet. And I can flip all 3 on all at once if need be for just that really, really super bright light. So anyways, as I'm being blinded by my freaking lights here, I think this is gonna work pretty good. I'm actually kind of excited that I was able to do this, think it through, plan it. It's gonna look really nice. Eventually I'll get something to cover these wires up, that way they're not sticking out as bad. But for right now, I'm just gonna put these right here, zip tie the snot out of them so they're nice and tight to the frame, and then call it a day on that. But the next little clip here you're gonna see is gonna be of me having that switch in the dash. So anyways, I hope you guys are enjoying this as much as I am. Stay tuned. So working on the side-by-side a little bit more. It's another day of working on this dang thing. So I am trying to figure out where to mount the rocker switches. And I'm gonna teach you guys a little life hack for you. Especially if you're like me and don't want to put a bunch of holes in your rig trying to get the right spot. So the wiring harness for these switches is about 6.5, 7 foot long, and I have to figure out a way to let the wiring, I have to be able to get the wiring from the switch, from where I'm mounting it, to the battery. The only problem is the battery is over here under the passenger seat, and where I'm mounting the switch is on the front dash. And to run that wire, I'm gonna have to run it underneath the chassis and then back up into the battery box. So I have to be able to figure that out so it'll reach. So the best way to do that, because I can't take the wiring harness completely apart. I mean, it has a little quick clip disconnect here. So what I did was use a piece of string. I measured from the cord that goes to the battery all the way to the switches. Cut me a piece of string off. Then I come over here to where I want to mount the switch. I found the location under the little hood opening here. So here's my string, right? So right in here, I can see where I'm mounting these switches. I know it's where I want to mount the switch, because see that little piece of blue tape right there? I taped the string. That's right where that switch is gonna go, where that blue tape is. But if you look straight ahead, there's a little box cut out right here. That is the warning label on the other part of the dash. So that's where I want to put my switch, is on the other side of it. So I took that string that I measured, put a little piece of tape on it, I stuck that tape to where I want it to go. Now I can take this and run it through everywhere I need to go and make sure it's gonna add up to my battery box. So, I know it's dumb. A lot of people probably can do this without having to do this. But if you're like me and don't want to screw things up, this is the perfect way to figure it out without making a big mess and potentially putting holes in stuff and then not have it work out. So I do it this way. At least now I know it's going to reach where it has to reach. So, hope you guys like that. It's a little tidbit. Anyways, back to work I go. Stay tuned. I'm almost done with this, I think. Alright, dudes. The last video. I'm done wiring. All my lights are on and wired to the switch. Everything's back together and it works perfect. Don't mind me, squirrel moment. But anyways, everything's run. The wire that you see that's exposed on my frame, eventually I'm gonna get the wire cover in the near future, probably sometime this summer, and I'll coat all this so the wire will be covered and protected a little bit better. But everything's wired, everything's plugged in where it needs to be, and I'll show you. That one's already off. Don't mind me, squirrel moment. Where everything's at, but everything runs down. So kind of sucks because the battery is underneath the seat, so the seat's back on. But ran the wires up like I told you earlier, spliced those upper wires here, ran this down. I actually ran it down under the frame. Let me flip you around. Ran it down under the frame. I need to put another zip tie right there, I think. Probably will as soon as I'm done here. Ran it down along the frame here. It actually tucks up underneath, comes all the way up and over, and then it's gonna be really hard to see, but there's a little spot on the back side here. I don't know if you can see in there, that runs in to the battery box, which is right here. Everything runs in right here behind the seat to the battery box. It's not that bad. So then from front lights here, I tucked everything down underneath the cowling here. So that goes in. This is wired down underneath the cowling. I could have, like I did the one in the back, drilled a hole right here and run the line straight through. But I figured instead of put another hole in it, I could just run it like that. So not the best, but it'll work for now. But that ran under. All this is wired together, zip tied up underneath this bar here. Oop, I missed a zip tie. I had to cut that one. Everything's down here. Again, this side here, it all works together. I don't know if you can see it, but that is the switch, the back of the switch panel right there, the rocker switch. Ran that wire down, used the string, and I came down through the back here, down, around, up, through, like I showed you earlier with the string. But everything is all right here. I even have another lead if I wanted to put another light on. But then my rocker switch is over here. So flip the switch for the light bar is on for the front. Boom, light bar. And switch that off and do my LED pods, which are my side pods. 1, 2, they're both right there. I can run all 3 of those at the same time if I want. So that can all be ran. And then the back lights, I can flip the switch, come to the back, and I got my 2 pod lights and the full LED bar that lights up. So all in all, this was a fun project. It was pretty cheap. I think I did it all for under $100 for everything, for the light kit, the wiring, the additional wiring I needed, the splicer kits and all my connections. Did it all for maybe $100. And now I've got more than enough light on this side-by-side for around the house, out in the woods, if we take it out there, if we take it out to the trails, camping, whatever the case may be. Anyways, I freaking love it. This Honda Pioneer 700 has been an awesome buy, and I cannot wait to keep running it and doing things around the house with it, out in the woods. Maybe take it up hunting, probably on public ground where there's trails, because the permit area I hunt is extremely expensive to get the permit that allows me to take this up there. So I probably won't be taking it up there unless I hit the lottery. So anyways, I really hope you enjoyed this. I know I'm not a professional. I don't claim to be. I'm just a kid that knows a little bit about what he's doing and kind of figures out as he goes. But I love this project. This is a fun project. I'm happy to be done with it because I am not a fan of wiring. But I'm going to go ahead and set you down for a half a second. I'm going to put the hood back on and then give you the quick little once over on the front here. So give me just a second. I'll be right back. I mean, you can't deny. That looks pretty sweet on the front. Right there. Check it out. Alright, dudes. Well, with that being said, I am done with this project. On to the next, whatever it may be. So, hope you guys liked this. Please like, subscribe, thumbs up the channel, share the channel. Let's keep growing this thing, and yeah, let's keep doing it. Like I said, hope you guys liked this video, and I had fun. Y'all have a nice night. Be safe out there.